Goody everyone. This is Dayhawk bringing to you my take, my review on episode 10 of Kamen Rider Revice. Well, everyone, Kamen Rider Live is here, which is disappointing, and I'll tell you why. I wanted Kagero to stay a little bit longer and have him have an extra 10 episodes, because let's face it, we only had Kagero for a couple of episodes, 3 maybe 4 episodes, I believe. And I kind of knew in the back of my head that it's going to be short-lived, because in Kamen Rider, and especially Super Sentai history, evil writers, evil Sentai, they don't last very long. They only have a couple episodes and they end up getting redeemed and they officially join the team. And unlike Abarenja, sorry if I misbutchered that name, but there's a character named Abare Killer, and he has been wreaking havoc since he debuted all the way almost towards the end of the season, which is something Sentai never have done before. Now they're given 3-4 episodes and they either join the team afterwards or get killed. And I really want Kagero to wreak havoc on Ikki's family until Ikki felt like there's no way to save his little brother. He is gone, and he was about to do the ultimate sacrifice, but then Daiji ends up fighting and defeats Kagero from within, and just have it all in between episode 20 to 25. And just, I don't know, that's just me. But I find it to be very short and very fast. And the costume is pretty good. It's just I don't like the helmet all that much. I may grow accustomed to it, but I like demons, it needs a little tweaking. But that's just me. The episode leaves off where Ikki was about to do his rider kick, and as we all assumed that he's gonna either Demon's gonna stop the attack or Ikki's gonna stop it on his own, which it did. The reason he stopped the attack is because Kagero demorphs and pull the whole, hey, I'm Daiji, please don't kill me, that sort of thing. And that's when Ikki stopped the attack. But unfortunately, it was all a ruse, and he ends up beating his ass. But luckily, after defeating the demon Brachio, Hiromi jumps in and rescues Ikki, and they disappear. And it leads off where Ikki is down in the dumps, and Vice, that's something that we didn't know until now, is that he has the ability to go into people's minds. In this case, we get to see him go into Hiromi's mind where he is crying. And that was completely random, to be honest. Like, why is he crying in his head? Why? To me, that shot was completely random. Like, why is he crying? Hmm. And Sakura comes in to tell Ikki to just go to the hospital. And he's like, no. And then she talks to Hiromi, and Hiromi talks to Ikki about, okay, Daiji is gone. We need to accept it, and we have to do, what is right. And Sakura made a good case. She mentions like the Kamen Riders and what their true purpose is. And Hiromi tells her that the riders are created to preserve the peace, and she's like, really? Because it doesn't look like it. Because what's being a rider is just It's what's tearing the family apart. And let's be honest here. And she's right in this case, because sure, you might point the finger on the dead man's, but the dead man's are not the ones that are causing the problem all that much. Because the root of the problem is that being a writer is what's destroying the family. Because you saw it with Daiji and Kagero. The reason why Kagero was born is because Ikki took something that belongs to him, which is the Revice driver, and he became a writer instead of him. And now he's a writer himself, and he is causing havoc, and and Kagero pretty much destroyed the family vacation and nearly killed Ikki numerous times. I mean, she has a strong case, don't you think? I put in the comments below if you think she has a strong case. And so Ikki goes to the spa, and just, believe it or not, Vice had a pet talk on Ikki, and he pretty much called him out on his BS. And let's be honest, Ikki, he's starting to get a little bit annoying, and that's and to me, like, Vice is the most annoying, but to say that Ikki is more annoying, that's saying something, right? Because his character, he even mentions it later on in this episode that he's nosy, inconsiderate, and it's just self-centered, and that's where Kagero was born, because it's like he's being inconsiderate, nosy, and that sort of thing. That's why I'm like, ugh. I'm starting to not like you. I don't. Vice was calling him out, like I said, and he that Vice said, you claim that you believe in Daiji, but you don't. You don't at all. And Ikki was like, you're right. I said that I was going to save him, I I don't believe that he will save himself. And Vice also mentions that he went into Kagero's mind and sees that Daiji hasn't given up yet. That look on his face doesn't look like the face of defeat. And here's the thing, though. I don't like that particular scene only because you see Daiji just sitting there and just having this just serious face. Like, I wish he was just pounding at this invisible force shield and just trying to fight, but he can't. because he doesn't have the strength yet or the willpower. All he is doing at this point is just sitting there with a serious face. I'm like, he should be standing and punching. He does that later, obviously, but it's just right now he's just sitting there. And I'm like, yeah. So after Vice calls Ikki out on his BS, Sakura encounters Angelica, and guess what? After the brief fight, um, she wants Sakura to join her, and Sakura's like, "Why would I do that?" And Angelica said, "It will help you, if by joining us, you will get the answers that you seek." And then she disappears. And Sakura, just like Daiji, we see her getting, step aside in a way, excluded, because she notices that her two brothers are becoming writers. They are doing something to protect their city, their family from these evil beings, and she is powerless to do anything. She's not included in this whole writer business. And that's where I feel that maybe her demon is feeding on her negative energy, and maybe she will become possessed just like Daiji, but who knows? But we all saw this coming. We all saw it coming. What else that happened here? Ah, here is the part that I wanted to talk to you guys about too. Apparently, the commander was in on George's wild experiments, because in this scene, the commander asked George, like everything is an experiment to you, and when will it end? And that's an interesting question, because the commander knew that George was gonna give the bat beat stamp and the driver to Daiji, or in this case Kagero, and they really didn't mention anything to Ikki at all. So I was unsure that he was in it, but it confirms that he knew all along. And I don't know, man. George is a wild card. You want to trust him, and you don't, due to his past actions. I mean, let's face it, man. And hopefully all will be revealed later on in the season. And maybe he knows why Ikki's images on pictures are disappearing. But yeah, it's kind of strange, but you know. Let's see what else happens here. So Kagero is found, and he unleashes 3 Brachio demons, and they have this huge fight with demons, Vice, and Ikki, and Ikki versus Kagero round 3, and obviously he gets his ass beat yet again. Only this time, Ikki pretty much tries to talk to Daiji by saying, "Hey, I'm sorry that I didn't understand your feelings. I'm sorry that I was selfish, noisy, inconsiderate, and being a lousy older brother. I hope you can forgive me." And that's when Daiji got the strength to finally break free from Kagero's control. And then as Kagero was trying to fight Daiji, Ikki gets the Brachio V stamp, and the design is dedicated to Zio, which is, this is a side note, Zio is one of the least favorite writers. It's a writer's season that shouldn't be made, but if you guys want me to give you a reason why, just leave a comment. I'll just leave it at that. And so the two Kamen Riders defeated Kangero, and that's when Daiji fully returns. We don't know yet if Kagero's gonna return, but he's a demon, and he mentions that the reason that he was born, it was due to Daiji's hate towards Ikki. So he could always come back, but in this case, I don't think so. And so Daiji is saved, but then Demons is getting beat up by the newly formed Brachio demon, because the three demons combined, and now Daiji decides to defeat the monster because Ikki is unable to, and that's where he transforms into Kamen Rider Live. And that's where he defeats the monster. And then at the end, we get to see the family back together. But unfortunately, another one of Ikki's photos disappears, because you get to see, I think, Sakura and Daiji and Ikki disappears. I wonder why. And that's the end. There's a lot of questions. Like I said earlier, it was short-lived. I wish it was a bit longer. I wish Kagero would stay at least until episode 20, 25 at the maximum, because I like to see how Ikki is going to deal with the fact that maybe he was gone, and then maybe at the last minute Daiji breaks free. It's almost like in the way of Digimon Tamers with Takedo and Jerry, you know, with the whole D Reaper situation. Because I wanted Daiji to be full in despair, just like Jerry, but then his friends, especially his brother, will fight and saying that I will not give up on you and all that. Just make the effort, and then Daiji will wake up and defeat Kagero once and for all. But it didn't happen. It's disappointing. I already said about the suit. What else? George is a wild card, like I said, and the next episode, it looks like Sakura will get her own driver and V stamp, but we don't know yet if she's gonna take Angelica's offer. We don't know if she's gonna be possessed by a demon. We don't know yet. But I'm happy that she will be a writer. But I knew it. It's just, again, everything is going too fast. To me, I want it to be, take your time and build up, because you guys have plenty of time. Because usually with Writer and Sentai, they have like a whole year to build a story up. But they're just moving way too fast, in my opinion. Anything else? What I think of the episode so far? I like it. Even though, like I said before, but I like it so far. And Ikki is rubbing me the wrong way a little bit. Vice is a bit annoying, but again, it's something to get used to. Uh, so yeah. So thank you for sticking around. Please leave a like if you like it, and subscribe. And if you guys were wondering why I don't show pictures like snapshots of the episode, it's because I was given a copyright strike from Toei, so I don't want to risk getting another copyright strike. Unless you guys were to show me how to properly like use pictures and all that, I will stick with me and the poster of the show, and that's it. So thank you all, and I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!